Dikirr. How many number of polling stations have you visited, and what's the turnout like this morning?
Well, thank you very much, Ndimuli. As you rightly put it, a by-election right here in Emurua Dikirr constituency has kicked off, and we have been able to visit 2 polling stations spread across Kapsasian ward in Emurua Dikirr, where we've seen numbers trooping in, as my current person can just show you. You can see that there are elderly people forming queues right here at Lecho Primary School, ready to exercise their constitutional right and vote in their next MP for this area. As we've rightly mentioned over and over, this by-election was occasioned by the demise of Johanna Ngeno, who perished in a helicopter crash right in February, and this necessitated the IEBC to make that declaration that this election will be held on Thursday, today. And what we have been able to observe in Dimuli is what we already observed in other by-elections, speaking of Kasipul, where we are seeing the youth are not turning up here, the elderly dressed in their jackets, dressed in their caps, just keeping warm, and the ladies wrapped in traditional kikois just to come and exercise their rights. So the question begs again, where is the youth going to turn up for this election? And we've also seen the IEBC gave directions that mobile phones will not be allowed inside the booth. This is just to discourage the practice of Kenyans just coming out and posting pictures of whom they voted for. I think what informed the IEBC is that probably this goes ahead to influence who people are going to vote for. So we've seen, even Chebet can just show you, just close to that door where someone is just passing, there is a notice that no mobile phones are allowed in these streams, I can say, so that to discourage the issue of maybe swaying where the voters are going to vote on social media, posting the pictures of how they've already voted. So if you can just go to this side, I can show you more of what is happening here. And remember, this is an election that has attracted several candidates, 5 of them. But mainly, I've been following through your discussion. You've been talking about UDA and DCP. And mostly, that has been the sentiment on the ground, that these are the 2 parties that are going to be hotly contesting for this by-election. And we have David Keter of UDA and Vincent Rotich of DCP. And rightly so, the discussion around here has been who is really going to carry the day. Based on the pictures that we've been getting from the ground, we saw rallies being held by Vincent Rotich, where women were putting on uhuru bags on their head with colors of DCP. Many going as far as saying, if the candidate cannot afford the party merchandise, we are going to put this on to show our support. So this just goes to tell you that the party has made some inroads in this area that is largely considered as President William Ruto's bastion. And remember, when the former MP was still alive, there were reports, and he was being touted that he is one of the front runners to lead the Kipsigis community into a form of political pact. When that happened, we saw Rigathi Gachagua even talking about how him and Ngeno were very close. And funny enough and interestingly enough, he made that announcement of his death. And that is something that the widow of Johanna Ngeno has made reference to, saying that it was a bit strange to her for finding out about her husband's death. We don't know whether that is true or not, that she found out the husband passed away from Gachagua's announcement. So what I can also tell you is that there is a security deployment here just to make sure that there's order in this polling station. And something in Dimuli as well, we had a few gunshots at night. And this is something we're able to tell you that we saw a bit of groupings from the youth around Emurua Dikirr, and that is something that the police, I think, attempted to disperse them. So that's a bit of an issue that was arising, but it was able to be sorted out. So right now, I think I'll be able to look for someone who's just voted so that they can give us their expectation and what happened really inside the booth. So, Ndimuli, there is a gentleman here. Hello, how are you? Uko salama? Unaweza songa kando kidogo? Tuzungumze mawili matatu. Kwa jina unaitwa nani?
Jina mnaitwa John Kurkat.
Unaonaje kuhusu hii kura bila kutueleza nani ambayo umempigia?
Unaona hiyo nani kura unaendelea vizuri, na tena unaona watu wanakuja kwa wingi, na tena unaona usalama wako mzuri.
Mimi unanionekania kama mzee ambaye ana familia yake, maybe ana vijana ambao wana umri fulani. Sijui kama una watoto nyumbani ambao pia wamefika umri wa kupiga kura, au wanajiita Gen Z ama wale youth wanakuja.
Naona hawa ikuchi kwa sababu sini hawa unafanya tu hiyo kazi yako kama una nini, lakini hakuna kitu yenye unakuna kufanya hapa. Unaona hii kura inaendelea vizuri. Hakuna maneno yenye unaendelea vifaya hapa. Unaona unaendelea vizuri.
Na kuondoka hapa umeamka saa ngapi maybe kufika hapa, kabla umetoka mbali gani?
Mimi hako karibu hapa, natoka tu hapa karibu tu.
Shukran sana na uwe na siku njema. Shukran sana na uwe na siku njema. Okay. All right. Ndimuli, I'll be taking it back to you in studio. So we have around 92 polling stations to go and try and cover, and then we'll be getting an update maybe later on in the bulletin at around 11. Ndimuli?
Sydney Chazimba, who's our reporter on the ground in Emurua Dikirr, bringing us up to speed with the voting process, which began as early as 6 a.m. this morning and will continue up until 5. Relatively short queues, and according to Sydney, quite a number of the young, youthful voters who would have been expected to be taking part in this voting process are nowhere to be seen. It's just the elderly and women who are there. But the day is still young, something may still happen. And yes, a reminder of that advisory public notice by the IEBC that no one will be allowed to take photos or record videos inside the polling booths. They say photography and video recording is strictly prohibited in the polling booth. Doing so constitutes an election offence under Section 7(3)(e) of the Elections Offences Act, number 37 of 2016. And it goes on to say that the offence is punishable by a fine not exceeding 1 million shillings or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 years or both. So if you are hoping to take part in the voting process in Emurua Dikirr constituency in any of the 90 polling stations, please do not go there with your mobile phone or camera or video gadget as well.
What we are hoping, Fred, is that they will enforce that.